Hey, welcome back to part 2 of November books that I've read. We'll just jump right into it. Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid follows Nina Riva, a swimsuit model who throws a huge end of summer party, and most of it focuses in on that end of summer party. But it follows her life and her famous father who left her family when she was young, her siblings, and it switches between all the different perspectives of her siblings, her mother, her party guests, all sorts of people. It's kind of a character-driven type book. And this is, 1983. Now, I mean, it was readable, very readable. I really was excited to read this because I'd read Daisy Jones and the Six and The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, and I enjoyed both of those. So I thought that this one would be really good. Those other two books had a bit more of a framing device, told us this is a documentary or this is a series of interviews, and this didn't have that. And I feel like the author does really well within those kinds of devices, and this didn't have that. And I feel like it was lacking something. It maybe needed a little more structure. Mostly, I was put off because I feel like, I should have guessed by a celebrity summer end of summer party, but there was too much sex in it for me. It was a little over the top. I wasn't too comfortable with all the stuff that went on in it. I didn't feel like it was necessary to the plot, and felt like a little much for me, which I didn't feel in her other books like that was the case as much. So all in all, I give this one, 3 out of 5. It was readable, it was fine, just I don't think it was quite for me. Where the Grass is Green and the Girls Are Pretty by Lauren Weisberger is a story about the college admission scandal, a fictionalized version by the same author as The Devil Wears Prada. This follows Peyton, a news anchor, as her family is swept up because of some shady dealings that she did to get her daughter into an Ivy League college. So, there are a lot of things it's very character driven. There are a lot of fun plot points that come into this. It's very interesting, very timely. I was really on board, honestly, until kind of the end, when I feel like I was cheated out of some drama. If I'm gonna read this kind of book, let's have a little more conflict. And I feel like everything was wrapped up a little too neatly and nicely and predictably. I could kind of guess what was going to happen. From about halfway through the book, I knew how they were going to wrap it up. So anyways, it was fine. If you want to read about this and you have been curious about what life would be like if you were caught up in a situation of the sort, yeah, read this. But I just don't feel like it's that deep or is bringing that much to the table. So House of Hollow by Crystal Sutherland is actually a pretty good magical realism horror type of book. I think it's got a lot of good suspense and spookiness and creepiness that's gone into it. It's following 3 sisters who disappeared for 30 days when they were children and then reappeared, and something happened to them. And they're mostly all grown up now, and Iris, the youngest, it's told from her perspective, and her oldest sister goes missing, and they're trying to find her and find out the truth of what had happened to them all those years ago. And it's creepy and suspenseful and cool, and I really can't think of anything wrong with it. I don't know if magical realism horror is quite my genre, but if you like that genre, I think this is I really can't think of anything wrong with it. It gave me everything that I would want from a book with that description. So I enjoyed it. I would recommend it if you like this kind of thing. And I mean, I honestly think this would be a really good movie, like a really cool, creepy horror movie, but like just the right amount of like beautiful and creepy. I don't know. I would be interested in something like that, but no, it was pretty good. I read the book Meat Talk Pretty one day by David Sedaris, and I thought this was absolutely delightful. He is quite the prolific author, and I can't believe I haven't actually read any books by him. I thought that I had, but I guess not. Sorry, my daughter's right here. I really enjoyed this one specifically. It's a collection of humorous stories, and all of his books are humor-based, and this one particularly I really related to. It talked a lot about his speech impediment as a child, which I related a lot to. He talked about using a thesaurus to try to find words that he could use that didn't have an S in them so that people wouldn't notice his speech impediment, and I related because I couldn't say my R's until the 5th grade, and that was very relatable for me, as well as his struggles moving to France and learning a new language, and that struggle of not understanding everything. He talks about being in some language learning classes and finally getting to the point where he understood everything, but he still sounded like an idiot, and I feel like I'm stuck there all the time. So super relatable for me. I loved his story talking about going to the doctor and being worried that they would take out his kidneys and it would be his fault because he just agreed to something and didn't understand everything that was being said, and I have had those exact same thoughts. So very relatable, heartfelt, enjoyed it. I am definitely going to, well, I'm currently reading more by him, and just really enjoyed it. So I read The Sum of Us, What Racism Costs Everyone and How We Can Prosper Together by Heather McGhee. And this is an excellent, hard-hitting book with a lot of data, a lot of facts to back it up, talking about how racism hurts everyone. It tackles specifically the zero-sum fallacy that so many people buy into, the thought that if this other person gets these privileges or gets this help, then it will be taken away from me. And I think that it really addresses that very well, how when we benefit one person, we can all benefit, and it's not a zero-sum game. And I thought it was really good. It was also very good for me. I feel like it gave me things that I could do on a personal basis to address my own prejudices and how to move forward and what my values actually are. And so all in all, excellent book, highly recommend, 5 stars. Go and read this one. And that is the end of my second video. We're 2 videos in and only halfway through November. So I'll see you all again on another November installment of books that I've read. Please leave any thoughts or recommendations below. As always, my book list just keeps dwindling, and I would love some more book ideas. Anyways, I'll see you all on the next one.